Hello, everyone. Another edition of Back Issue Bin with RK Stud. And in the background behind me that you can't see is my assistant, Kit Kat. Hello. I think they can all hear you say hello. Anyway, for today's we have a wide selection, three in a genre, and then an extra special one, just to kind of back issue bin review. Maybe you might want to go to your local shops or hunt these down. Let me give them grades. Your grades may differ if you buy them and read them. These are just going off our grades, right, Kit Kat? Just going off our grades? Yeah. Okay, first one is IDW Mothra, Queen of the Monsters. You can kind of tell a theme here that's coming up, I guess you could say. Story is by Sophie Campbell. Art by Matt Frank and Sophie Campbell on page 6. Right, and it deals with two sisters, Emmy and I forget the other one. They're kind of trying to kind of save their world and with their Mothra. Only they keep messing up and going back to the same time. In fact, they're being attacked by Megaceros. I think it's Megaceros. And as you can see, there's some of the artwork. It's a decent story. I wish I had the first issue to kind of maybe go off more on. The story is kind of, like I said, wish I had more to go on. Maybe if I had found the first issue, but it's decent. The artwork's okay. Next issue, there's, of course, a Mothra flying. Nicole Gao did the cover that I bought. So if I find issue 3, maybe this one's kind of a little. I would buy it just for the fact of MonsterVerse and Toho Studios and all that. But it's a C for now. I got to get more on to understanding the story. Hey, next one up, you can already see Godzilla versus Fantastic Four. Here they're going up against him like maybe years ago. Or maybe this is current. I can't remember. I think this is current. Then they go back to the Baxter building to kind of kill him. Well, stop him. Really, but unfortunately they need to. Here Ryan North and John Romita Jr. both was the writing and the penciler. Romita Jr. artwork for this is really good. For drawing the Fantastic Four. There you can tell King Ghidorah is the villain. Godzilla must be down at this point. Here comes the Silver Surfer, who gives up his cosmic power to give to Godzilla to fight King Ghidorah, which they defeat him for now. Godzilla kind of walks away, saves the day. Yippee-yi-yay. Or maybe he'll be facing Galactus. Who knows? It's really fun. Not much to the story at all. It's kind of basic, simple. But again, you have Fantastic Four and you have Godzilla. You can't really go wrong with this. This I give a solid B. Now this one is Godzilla versus Hawk. This one, Dr. Demonicus plays a part in at Thunderbolt Ranch. I think they're trying to find a way to stop the kaiju. They're spiders and what, so they go after Godzilla. And then Dr. Demonicus is actually trying to raise a monster. And what comes out of this big old shell? Why, why it's Hedorah, who's rumored to be the main villain in the next Godzilla Minus One sequel, which we have no idea what the title is. Maybe it's a combination of Hedorah and Violante, depending on. Oh my god, what happened to that character's name? Nobiku. I think that's her name. And of course, you have Hawking out finally after months. Hawk Smash. Again, let's see. Who wrote this? So I can tell you. I know I'm not good at describing things I know. Gary Dugan wrote this, and Giuseppe Camicoli penciled it. He did pretty good drawing. Story is actually pretty good. It's a lot better than the Fantastic Four, which is fun. This one's still fun too. You know, like King Ghidorah knocks down Godzilla. So what does Hawk do? Hawk gives Godzilla blood transfusion. It helps out Godzilla. There we go. The next one won't be till this week. Godzilla and Spider-Man. You know, overall, I had more fun with this. I give it a B plus. And this one is just a reprint of Action Comics #1. There were a few controversial things in here. Some language, depiction of African Americans in this book. So right now you kind of see the reprinted story of Superman's first appearance, first story ever. You haven't read it, it's pretty good. He just goes to help save a woman from execution at midnight. And he does some other things to help people out. That classic panel. I think that gets to everyone. Decent story overall, nothing too bad. We also have a story on Chuck Dawson, who daddy was killed for his land, so he was coming back to go against the Wranglers. And it's to be continued. So it's a Western comic. Now this one is Zatara. Yeah, Zatanna's daddy. And he was going up against this villainess named the Tigress. But it was a train robbery and a train murder of a friend of Zatara, whatever you want to call him. And he clears his friend's name by the end. This is a very good story. This is a 2-page story. South Sea strategy. Captain getting ready to go save a pretty girl. But it's to be continued next issue, which kind of... I'd have to have real money to buy Action Comics #2. And this is a little strip gig named Sticky Mitt Sampson. Sticky Mitt Stimson. Where he's stealing stuff and the police are trying to chase him. Kind of funny. This one's The Adventures of Marco Polo. Going against raiders that are trying to go after him. It's The Adventures of Pep Morgan. He's a boxer. Going up against a doctor that trains boxers, but he's mean and evil. Does bad tactics to try for his fighters to win. Scoop Scanlon, 5-star reporter. Which he gets in the middle of the police and mob, and he and his partner are running to help the police. Nothing too much for that, but it's pretty good though. Here's another kind of Western one, Tex Thompson. Actually, it says Tex Thompson. Funny enough, this guy is rich and has money, and he's just walking around England and sees a dead body, and this gang is trying to pin it on him. Next to Superman, it's the biggest, longest story. Artwork's not too bad, and then you have Celebrity Buzz, or they call it Stardust, by the Stargazer. It just tells little funny stories of celebrities back then. So there's a story about Fred Astaire. Apparently, he was at a charity fundraiser, and the girls all paid to dance with him. The next year, he was so worn out that he just decided to sell strawberries. Constant Bennett, she wore a costume that made her lose 3 pounds a day. Some other ones and some odds and ends stuff. Must be some baseball and sports stuff. Yes, it is. So there you have it. I like going back and reading old comics to see what they were like back then, and some of the stereotypes in them, and some of the controversial stuff. For $10 is what I normally wouldn't want to pay a facsimile, but hey, if I had $1 trillion, would I buy a good copy quality of Action Comics #1? Of course I would. But this way, I save money. Someday, if I ever had $1 trillion, would I buy one? Of course I would. But for right now, I'm happy with this. And on that note, oh yeah, I gotta give it a grade. But that wasn't too bad of a reading. I actually, for all the stuff that was in it and Superman's first appearance, I give it just another strong B. And me and Kit Kat will see y'all later.